It's the unhappy hour.
Hello everybody, welcome back. It has been a little bit since you've heard from me. My name is Brian Engelman, and I appreciate each and every one of you sticking around and checking us out over here at the New American Media and checking out this program in particular. It's called the Unhappy Hour. And it's basically called the Unhappy Hour because I'm a Cleveland-centric sports fan. Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Cavaliers, and I've never celebrated a championship in 36 years. That's pretty crazy. But of course, we cover national issues as well. And Manny Pacquiao just got dumped. He just got dumped by Nike. I'm not sure if you saw that. He made some anti-homosexual marriage comments referencing the animal kingdom. Nike, boom, you're out of here. They swooshed him right on out. So, sometimes sports blurs with politics. Let us know what your opinion on that story is. We're not going to necessarily get into it right now, but you can leave a comment after the fact. You can do it at thenewamericanmedia.com. That's where we post all of these programs. Or you can do it at youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Subscribe and leave your comments. And we basically get a chance to continue the conversation over there. So it's pretty cool. It's something that we enjoy doing. It's continuing the conversation. Like UFC is MMA. His name's Corey. Over in Phoenix, the Bulls fan. Yeah, he's been with us for years and years. And he was just saying what a joke this All-Star game has become. He's a huge NBA fan. Maybe he should change his name to UFC is NBA. We'll see about that. But yeah, we're going to bring in former NBA scout and current NBA consultant Zak Baris, who's also a Cleveland sports fan, to join us and talk about the All-Star game and, of course, the trading deadline. So, we're right in the middle of a lot of stuff. We got corporate tax season, we have the Conscious Life Expo, we have the National Association of Music Manufacturers, the NAMM convention, the music convention. The beginning of the year is just crazy until we pretty much hit March. Everything is just, there's a lot of stuff going on. February is a real tricky month. So we started off January really strong with a whole bunch of shows, knowing that it was going to end up like this. So if you've missed us, hey, we're glad that you've been checking us out. But go ahead and check out some of the archived interviews that we've done. There are some wonderful interviews that we've done. Check them out, thenewamericanmedia.com and youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Also on Twitter at American_media_. And on Facebook, you can do a search for The New American Media with spaces in between and like the page. Of course, on thenewamericanmedia.com on the right-hand side is the Facebook and Twitter link. You can just click it directly from there. So let's get Zach in and talk some basketball. Does that work for you? I hope so, because it's going to work for me.
Hello?
Hello, Zach. You are live. How you been, sir?
Brian?
Oh, Zach, can you not hear me? I'm right here.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Well, we've had so many glitches. I swear I had to do 3 computer restarts here and I won't bore you with the details. But yeah, occasionally you get a ghost in the machine. So, hey, glad you can hear me. I can hear you as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, actually.
Well, what's new in your world? We haven't talked in, man, it feels like months and months. I know it hasn't been that long.
Been going to a lot of Cavs games.
Yeah?
It's been pretty cool, actually. So it's been a lot of fun. Not much else has been going on. Just been traveling a little bit.
Have you noticed a difference in the Cavaliers team with the new head coach? Talk about Tyronn Lue and changing from David Blatt.
I'll tell you this. I was at the first. I had just gotten back from Vegas the night they played the Bulls. So I had sold my tickets. So I didn't go to that game. I watched it on TV. I was just exhausted. I just gotten back from Vegas earlier that day. So
you didn't miss anything. They played like garbage.
No, I still watched it. I just didn't know if I was going to make it back in time and put the tickets on flash sheets, got what we wanted for them, and sold the tickets.
Right.
So then I went to the next 3 games. I went to the Timberwolves game where they looked like crap in the first half. They got it together in the second half. And then came the Suns game where they just physically dominated the Suns all game. And then they whooped the Spurs. So I was at the next 3 games. I think Milwaukee may have been in there too. I'm not sure.
I'll pull it up
and
take
I
a
was
look.
at like 4 games in a row. I just know at one point or something.
Right.
And they literally, I don't know. No, I don't know. I just don't remember. But whoever they played, they manhandled. I don't know if it was 3 games or 4 games, but they manhandled every team in there. And it was nice to see that. And you're like, okay, well, now it's looking like it made a difference, especially what they did to San Antonio.
Yeah, that's clutch because we weren't playing well against the Warriors or the Spurs, and it doesn't matter what we do against some of these mid-level teams. It matters what we do against the top dogs. That's all that counts.
Exactly. So what you're looking at is what the Cavaliers did to those teams. They dismantled them. Then they started getting a little, I think they started letting their guards down, and they stopped playing well for a couple games. I think it was before the All-Star break. But I mean, here's the thing. Do I think the coaching change really makes that big of a deal to the team? No, I really don't. They still look like a similar team to me. Their pace is a lot faster, which I like. But what they did against San Antonio made me think, okay, when this team gives it 110%, 100%, they can beat just about anyone they want.
Right. Okay, and I pulled up the schedule. Here's what we got. Starting from Chicago, a loss by 13 points to the Bulls. Then we beat.
I don't even count that one. I really don't.
Then we beat Minnesota, Phoenix, Detroit was the team in between them and San Antonio.
Detroit was the game out of town. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Milwaukee was in there.
No. And then it's a win against the Pacers, laying 2 eggs against Charlotte and Boston, and then beating New Orleans, Sacramento, and Lakers.
Charlotte's whatever. I mean, again, I'm not worried. If they go and face a team like Charlotte in the playoffs or the 8th seed, they'd kill them.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Boston. I mean, this is the thing last year. We saw a team last year that went and physically just dominated these teams come playoff time, and they're going to do the same again. There's no reason saying they're not going to. Cleveland has the easiest road to the finals of any team. Let's remember that.
Yeah, and but that was the case last year. Was we were supposed to be healthy and well rested, and this and that, and we end up getting injured. That's something that is a total wild card. But yeah, that is still the case. But the Warriors are not showing too many signs of fatigue over there in the West.
I don't think it's a big deal. That the Warriors are not showing fatigue is not a big deal. They're trying to go out there and break a record right now.
And
that's what they're saying. Golden State has nothing left to prove right now other than breaking a record.
Right.
You know that, and I know that. We both know that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And
Golden State already won the title last year. They already won the title last year. What do they have left to prove this year, other than winning it again? Let them have some fun in the regular season and go out there and dominate.
I wonder, thinking about it, I wonder how much different it would be had they lost the finals and they haven't become that golden team, that young up and coming team, the team that's going to be a dynasty. They got that first one kind of easy. It's hard to call a 6-game win against a very injured Cavaliers team an easy thing, but it's just interesting to think about how people would be viewing them versus defending champs as opposed to, wow, they're really on the uptick here. It probably did a lot for their confidence. You've got to think.
I mean, I'm not that worried about Golden State. I'm really not, and I'll tell you why. Golden State is virtually the same team they were a year ago. They really are. So are the Cavaliers for the most part. The Cavaliers have added some pieces. The Cavaliers, I think, are a better team than they were a year ago. Don't forget, when the Cavaliers were playing, when LeBron was playing close to 100%, and you were able to get max effort out of those guys in the finals, and we're talking JR was terrible. Shumpert was terrible. They had no depth. Still took Golden State to 6 games.
And then people are still talking about, and people are still, I won't forget that Timofey Mozgov
people seem to forget that
phantom travel.
People seem to forget that all the time. And don't forget the Cavaliers were very close to going up in that series, basically 3-0.
I realize. By the way, I realize I just sent a production note over to you through a text instead of where it was supposed to go. So sorry about that. Yeah, that is absolutely the case, and the team coming together for just under a year. It takes a little bit of time to gel. We saw it with LeBron in Miami, and that's where we're at, and that's a good thing. But here we are at the trade deadline again, and it's going right down to the wire, and people are all saying, hey, they should trade Kevin Love for this guy. They should try to move
I wouldn't
Kevin
trade
Love.
Kevin Love for anything unless it's a better player than Kevin Love. Here's the thing. Ryan Anderson is not going to make the Cavs any better. He's going to make them worse. Okay?
In what way?
Unless you're getting here, I'm going to say this right now.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting a LaMarcus Aldridge, or you're getting a Paul George or something, a guy on the wing who could make this team better, I wouldn't trade Kevin Love. Kevin Love is still an all-star. And the problem is if you give him to Boston, that makes Boston a better team.
Yeah, they were talking about three-team
Boston's
trade.
already an above 500 basketball team. They're already a good basketball team. If you go and deplete your team and give them Kevin Love, there's no way David Griffin's going to be that stupid and make that trade. David Griffin's not an idiot.
I sure hope not.
You're not going to get a bunch of role players and Ben, and the possibility of the 6th or 7th pick, maybe the first pick in the draft. It's too much of a crapshoot. This is your time to win is now. You can win with this roster. You got to the finals last year with it.
And then,
with an injured roster.
No, you need Boogie Cousins. You need toughness. You got to get rid of Love. You hear all of these things.
I don't know if the Kings will give up on Cousins. There are only so many good players available at the deadline. Would I love to get a guy like Kyle Korver in Cleveland? Yes. But not at the expense of giving up Kevin Love. Would I give up Shumpert? Absolutely. Shumpert's having a terrible season. I love Shumpert, but offensively he's been just, I think atrocious might be the word to describe his play. And defensively, he's been good. Has he been great? Absolutely not.
What is the reason for that, do you think?
I think he came off of his injury in December, and I just don't think he's gelled properly. Either he rushed back, or he just hasn't been healthy, and he just hasn't gelled well with the team so far. I think Shumpert's still a good player. I think he can rebound from it. But the guy still has 3 years left on his deal after this, and if the Cavaliers can trade him for Korver, then they're probably going to do it. I'm not saying they're going to be able to get Korver for him, but if they could, they would do it. Korver would give them the ammo, and also Joe Johnson in a buyout, who I still think will probably wind up. I think the Cavaliers will wind up with Joe Johnson getting bought out in Brooklyn. We give the Cavaliers a lot of ammo to beat Golden State. You have the three-point shooters basically to counteract what Golden State does.
Joe Johnson getting bought out. How would that work then? That they'd split. What is he? He's a $25 million guy.
Joe Johnson would be 24 and a half, almost 25.
Yeah, just call it 25. That's crazy.
Joe Johnson would be bought out, and then he would go and join the Cavs for the veteran minimum.
Oh, wait, hold on. The Nets are going to pay 100% of the $25 million. It's not even like a chop or something. It's a full pay.
Yeah.
Oh.
They would pay his whole stuff.
And that helps how? Because then we take on his contract, or it's expiring. What's the incentive for the Nets to do that?
He's unhappy there.
Okay, so it's and then what? Is he an expiring deal, or are there additional years at 25? I'm out of the loop on the Joe Johnson thing.
No, it'd be an expiring deal. It'd be a veteran minimum until the end of the year.
Okay, Joe Johnson, Joe Johnson, Richard Jefferson, go down. What about Mozgov? We're hearing things about Costa Kufos.
I mean, I think we've realized he's not having a good year. Kufos might be a better fit. I mean, there's also the rumor the Cavaliers could be getting Channing Frye. The Cavaliers did offer up Anderson Varejao, which I would do for second. That's Mark Stein's been reporting that one. I would do that one the second at this point. Varejao's not playing, and when he does play, he plays sparingly. Hasn't been very good. Channing Frye, again, spaces the floor. He's basically a stretch five. He's going to give you a guy who can shoot the three. I think he'd be a great fit here. I'm also a little bit of a homer because he went to Arizona. So,
okay, well, at least you're upfront about that.
But I've always been a Channing Frye fan. I wanted the Cavaliers to sign him 2 years ago.
Okay, fair point. And
I mean, I'm not always a homer with Arizona players. I'm making that known right now. I've just always been a big Channing Frye fan. I've always liked him. I think he'd be a very good fit here. I think he plays better to what the Cavaliers need in order to beat a team like Golden State and San Antonio than Varejao. Channing Frye can shoot the three. He spaces out the floor really, really well. He doesn't really play in the post much. He can take an outside shot. That's what I like about Channing Frye. He's a 7-footer who can shoot the basketball. And I think he fits the team really, really well.
Okay. Do you expect it to happen? Do you expect some of these things to happen, though?
I think the Channing Frye deal could happen because I think Orlando wants to get the money off their books. I think they want to free up a lot of cap space, and Varejao is an expiring deal.
Right.
So, yeah, I do. I think that trade could very well happen.
Wait, now what happened with what was that deal with Zydrunas a couple years ago where we traded him? But
No, you cannot get him back now. So now it's called the Zydrunas-Ilgauskas rule. If you trade a player and then he gets bought out, he cannot come back to you during the season. You have to wait one full calendar year before he comes back. So, no, Anderson Varejao will not be a Cavalier again this season or until the trade deadline next season.
That's... How do you feel about that? Do you like that?
You know what? He's not playing. I love Andy, but the thing is, I just want a damn ring.
I know. And Andy would get one because he played half a season with us. It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, whatever you can take to get a ring, I mean, you do. You know, but, I mean, at this point, I mean, at least I would make the deal. I want to do anything to make this roster better without giving up a superstar. Varejao, I hate to say it, but is like basically dead weight at this point. He's not playing.
Well, was that because of David Blatt or Tyronn Lue or because of Varejao?
I think the injuries have caught up with him finally. I mean, don't forget, this is a guy when healthy back in 2000, was it New Year's 2011 or New Year's 2012? I think it was 2012, right around that time, Christmas time. The Cavaliers had an offer on the table. Basically, it was Bledsoe and DeAndre Jordan. The jump rate was also 4 or 5 years ago for Anderson Varejao. Varejao was averaging 15 and 15 at the time. He had just gotten injured, didn't come back for the rest of the season. The deal got nixed because he wasn't healthy. But, you know, imagine if the Cavaliers could have somehow pulled a trigger on that deal. That was before DeAndre Jordan was a rising star, and Bledsoe was still very, very young. But imagine if they would have been able to pull that deal out of their hats with Chris Grant ripping off on another trade, ripping the Clippers off on another trade.
Well, it's all that what-if game, because if we got too good too soon...
That deal, I'm telling you, I don't think people realize how close it was to being done. Varejao didn't get to the point where he was physical. Varejao was injured, never got healthy again.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. If we got too good too soon, then we wouldn't have got the high picks, and who knows if LeBron wouldn't want to come back.
Trust me, you would have had Bledsoe, Irving, DeAndre Jordan. That would have been enough to entice LeBron. They would have still had tons of assets. Okay.
All right, fair point. So
you wouldn't have had Anthony Bennett, unfortunately, and you would never have had Wiggins, but you would have been able to snag another deal to get Wiggins. There would have been other players down there. That's what I'm saying. That team would have been very, very, very good.
Gotcha. Well, then let's spill over to the rest of the NBA. Well, you know, you mentioned Joe Johnson, a few of these other players. Are there any other moves or any other players, any other things you're hearing about that seem to make a little bit more sense than others? I think there very well could be
some other players on the move right now. I mean, Boston is itching to make a deal.
Yeah, what is the deal? They have too many draft picks, and they need a superstar?
They have too many. I mean, either way, I think Danny Ainge wants to win now. I think he really wants to win now. I mean, the thing is, let's just say what happens. You could go as low as the 7th pick, which the Celtics pick with Brooklyn, or you get as high as 1. And you might land Ben Simmons, which is great. But Boston, they want to win now. And I don't blame them. They've got a hell of a coach in Brad Stevens. You know, and Boston doesn't have a ton of talent on the roster. They have a bunch of, you know, they remind me a lot of the mid-90s Cavs. A team that's good, not great, a 40 basketball team, maybe 46.
46. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, but that Ben Simmons, they're saying he's one of those generational players. I mean, but the Boston, you know, they're too good to be in the running for that. So. But
that's the thing is Boston. The thing is when you add, it's like, you know, my sister's boyfriend mentioned to me the other day. He goes, Cavs should have kept Wiggins, and I go, he's not even any good. He's a scorer, and that's it. He doesn't do anything but score. He literally is incapable of rebounding the basketball. He's incapable of passing the basketball. He has regressed since last season. All the kid can do is score.
What do you attribute that to? For what reason? I mean, he looks good scoring.
The problem is you look at a lot of these bad basketball teams, and it hinders players' development when they're not playing the right style, when they have a bad coach. It happens all the time. But Wiggins did have his question marks coming into the NBA. There is no doubt about that. In Kansas, we witnessed it many times.
Right, and you loved him.
But,
He was one of your favorite prospects in a long time.
Before Kansas,
Right.
I was not sold on him at Kansas. I liked him more than any other player in that draft. I'll tell you that right now. I liked him more than Jabari Parker. I still do. And I liked him better than Joel Embiid because of the injury, and also because how big of a deal does center make in this day in NBA? Not that big of a deal. It really doesn't.
That's weird how that changes.
You're gonna get a guy who can dominate a game, a small forward or a shooting guard or a point guard, who's more valuable in this day's NBA. This isn't the 90s anymore. It's not slow pace. You're looking for guys who can shoot the basketball, guys who can take the three. Why is Golden State so efficient? Golden State shoots the three better than anyone.
What makes them so much better, though? What is it about Golden State?
They're quick pace. They shoot the three better than anyone. And when you outscore your opponents 3-2 on each end, you're scoring more points per possession. It makes you that much better. They play at a quicker pace than anyone. They're still a good defensive team, a very good defensive team. And you know what? I mean, I do like Andrew Wiggins, but I don't love Andrew Wiggins. When I was at the Timberwolves game a couple weeks ago, I said, the Cavaliers won this trade either way. Minnesota got a guy who's a decent player, but not an all-star this year. He's not a Melo or a LeBron. He's not a Kobe. He just isn't. Last year it looked like it, and he just hasn't developed this year. He really hasn't. I hate to say it, but he just doesn't look that good to me. He can score the basketball, and that's about it. The guy's averaging less than an assist a game. I think he's averaging 1 assist per game.
Yeah, I was watching in that. What do they call that now? What is it? The rookies versus sophomore games, the rising stars game. What is that? I don't know. I can't even keep track of what
he's allergic to rebounding the basketball. I just.
Well, he weighs 98 pounds. I mean, I would be too. I mean, he's a skinny dude.
But the thing is, he's a skinny dude. But the thing is with Wiggins, that Timberwolves team is the weirdest team I've ever seen. They're super, super young in parts of the team, and otherwise they have the three oldest players in the NBA. Andre Miller, Kevin Garnett, and Tayshaun Prince. All of them seem to be over 40.
That's awesome.
Don't forget, KG's been in the league 20 years. Tayshaun Prince was 27 or 28 when he was in that Pistons team in 2003.
All right, I got it in front of me here. Andre Miller,
and Andre
39.
Miller's been in the league since the mid-90s.
Andre Miller, 39. Tayshaun Prince, believe it or not, 35 years old. 35.
That's it?
I know. I feel like he's been playing for 3 decades.
In 2004, 2005, when the Pistons. Wow, he was in his early to mid-20s when I didn't realize he was that young. But he's still terrible.
He was drafted in 2002 in the first round, 23rd overall by Detroit, out of Kentucky. 35 years old.
He was a great player back in the day, but he is not. He's a shell of his former self. He can never shoot to begin with. He's a below-average defender now.
And Kevin Garnett, 39 years old as well.
The Timberwolves are the most confusing team in the league. You're like, what the hell are they doing? They have a flux of young talent. They've got Ricky Rubio, Zach LaVine. They've got Shabazz Muhammad. They've got Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns. They have a ton of young talent, but at the same time, they've got a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds on the team too.
That reminds me of my freshman year in college. It was all freshmen in the dorm that we lived in, Cole Hall. We called it Alcohol Hall, but it was KOHL. It was Cole Hall, and it was all freshmen and 21-year-olds. It was a perfect blend of foreign students and juniors and seniors living with freshmen.
Yeah.
It was insane. You'd figure having someone like Kevin Garnett there. I mean, he's been very brash and outspoken and boisterous, if you will, but generally he's kind of a consummate professional. Someone a good role model, you would think, for some of these young kids, and they do have a lot of talent there. Like you said, he didn't make the All-Star game necessarily, but Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine looked pretty good in that rookie game. What the heck do they call it? The Rising Stars Challenge? Help me out here, Zach. I'm dying. I'm kind of conflating 3 different events, but no, I mean they look good in small doses, but like you're saying, they're more one-dimensional players, and that's not really gonna. I don't know. Not to say it's not going to get you far in this league, but
that's what I'm saying. It's just I just don't like Minnesota's development of their young coach. I love Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's going to be a superstar. Okay. But again, The league is now dominated by guys who control the ball and touch the ball more than anyone. Look at the best teams in the league. They have guys that touch the ball so many times. Guys like Steph Curry, it's your point guards. You know, it's all guys handling the ball. It's all the points. Look at a guy like LeBron and Kyrie. They handle the ball nonstop. Those are the guys who make the most impact in the game. It's not a center who touches the ball 25 times a game.
Right.
That's just what the league has become. Look at it.
Well, and it's
I mean,
a little
if
bit.
Anthony Davis is the best player in the league, Anthony Davis also has one of the worst teams in the league.
Right.
Because it's not like he's handling the ball every possession. Guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. That's what I'm getting at, and that's why you see these teams as good as they are. Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard. You know, the list just goes, and Ginobili, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard. What
look at the Clippers. The reason the Clippers are good, Chris Paul and J.J. Redick. You know, it all starts. Why are the Blazers having a decent season? Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Again, a strong backcourt. That's what it takes to win in today's NBA. It just is what it is. You can still win with great big men. I'm just saying that you need a great backcourt in order to win in this day's NBA.
How do you like the Cavs backcourt?
I love the Cavs backcourt. I love Kyrie. I love JR. When JR is on, I think they're unbeatable. But sometimes it's hit or miss with JR.
You know, back to them real quick. I want to get to the All-Star game because I know UFC is MMA. He was beyond annoyed with, you know, no defense and this, that, and the other. Damn near 200 points. Hold on. I want to get to the All-Star game in a second. I think he said the same thing. He turned it off halfway through. But regarding tempo and touching the ball, and it got me thinking because this is a question I wanted to make sure I got back to, and I almost forgot. So if the Cavs got rid of David Blatt and they brought in Tyronn Lue, and the game plan is to speed up the tempo, isn't the only way to beat Golden State to slow down the tempo? The
Cavaliers can slow it down too. Don't forget what they did to San Antonio, and they destroyed San Antonio. They sped up the tempo, but they were still under 100 possessions for the game. The Cavaliers don't lose when they keep it under 95 possessions. They don't lose. And they were under 95 possessions in the Spurs game. They were just that efficient offensively.
And so you're saying the Cavs can like flip a switch? They can go slow,
Cavaliers
they can go
flip
fast.
A switch. That's what LeBron does, and they did it without LeBron playing stupid ISO ball.
You're not a fan of the ISO ball.
I am when it needs to be done, but I'm just not. I mean, like last year in the finals, nobody else could make a shot other than LeBron. What was he to do? You get what I'm saying? There were really no other options. Really none. There were zero options. Now, you have options because the team is healthy. Kevin Love can kick out and take a three. It creates, last year the Cavaliers for the first 3 games, basically 4 games of that series, were able to dictate the lineup in that series. They were able to dictate who was on the floor for Golden State for the first 4 or 5 games of that series. After that, Golden State for the second half of Game 5 and for Game 6 dictated the pace. Because they knew they were going to let Miles get to the basket every time, give up the 2 points, and they're going to trade the 2 for 3 every time because they're sitting down there making 3 points. Every time they're making 3-pointers. They gave it up because the Cavaliers didn't have a choice. Miles was too talented to be sitting on the bench, and the Cavaliers didn't have anything else. So the Cavaliers stopped dictating the pace at that point. They were just too tired. Dellavedova exhausted. Tristan had to play power forward at that point. You couldn't keep him at center on Draymond. Don't forget, the Cavaliers at that point were controlling the pace. Golden State right now is the better team. Can the Cavaliers beat them in a series? Do I sound crazy? Yes, but they can. And I'm not being included on that. They can beat them. They can also beat San Antonio in the series. And with the way Oklahoma City's playing right now, I would not want to be. If I were Golden State, I would not want to have to face the Thunder right now.
You think OKC might actually be the dark horse?
I'm not saying they're going to beat Golden State, but it's just going to be a tough series. I mean, whenever you've got Durant and Westbrook, they can do anything. I mean, I'll give you this stat right now. I would love the Cavaliers to play the Thunder in the finals. How many times has Kevin Durant beaten LeBron James while LeBron's been in a Cavalier uniform?
Do we know how many meetings they've had?
How many times has Kevin Durant beaten them while LeBron's been in a Cavalier uniform?
I'll say 0.
You're correct.
Okay, that's nutty. Seriously?
What Yeah, one is LeBron all-time versus Kevin Durant, including the NBA Finals a few years ago.
Oh, all-time. That was a sweep, wasn't that a sweep? That was
No, it was a 5-game series.
Okay, it was 4-1.
took game 1.
Gotcha, okay. 4-1. I'll say he lost 2 games to him in his entire career.
LeBron's 16-4.
Okay, 16-4. Yeah, that's decent.
Okay, LeBron's always matched up while the Cavaliers have always matched. I mean, look what the Cavaliers did a couple months ago to the Thunder. Thunder are 40-14. And don't forget, they started out like 12-10. Or they were 9-8 or something. They did not start off hot. They started off as about a 500 basketball team for the first 25 games of the season. They've been lights out. They're another team. If I'm Golden State, I don't want to face. I mean, that was a tough game a couple weeks ago. Golden State almost lost to them at home.
Yeah. Well, and now the rumors are that Kevin Durant's going to super team it up to Golden State as well.
I highly doubt that one's happening. I highly doubt it.
Not in the camp of believing that's in the realm of possibility.
No, I just don't. I just don't see it. It ruins Kevin Durant's legacy in the fact that if he goes there, he's just joining a championship team. That's another thing, too. It's not even different. I mean, what Miami did, what LeBron did, LeBron formed a super team. Golden State's already a super team with or without Durant. They're already with one with Harrison Barnes.
True. All right, how about Kevin Durant comes to the Cavs? How about you comes?
I just don't see Durant doing that.
Do you think Durant's going to stay in OKC? Remember he signed that deal really quick to stick around there?
I really don't know what he's going to do. I know at some point he's going to leave. I just don't know when. If they don't win it this year, I think he leaves. I don't know where he goes. I mean, I think Washington's almost kicked themselves in the ass this year with how bad they've been. If I'm Durant, I'm looking at that situation in Washington going, why the hell do I want to play there? They stink.
Man.
I've got a better situation in OKC than that. I want to go play in New York with Melo and Porzingis. I love Porzingis, a player, but I wouldn't want to play with Melo.
Yeah, Porzingis, man, he's turned into quite the nice player.
He's a hell of a player. He's going to be the second best player in that draft.
Yeah,
no doubt in my mind. He's the second best player in that draft with the potential to be the best. But I love Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, Phil was getting knocked for that trade.
Porzingis will be a multi-time All-Star. Let's put it that way.
Like a
he'll
Dirk?
Probably be in the All-Star game as early as next season.
Like a tall, lanky...
He's so much more unique than Dirk. I mean, he's 7'3". The guy can block shots. He can do anything.
Yeah, but he's just a tall, lanky white dude from over there somewhere. So you just... Yeah,
he's better than a tall, lanky white dude. He's athletic as can be.
Yeah.
For his size.
I liked watching him in that that Rising Stars Challenge. That was fun. I got to watch a lot of that, and then I was out of town for the All-Star game, so I didn't get a chance to really take it in, other than the highlights.
He is athletic as can be, though, Brian. I will tell you that right now.
I liked watching him. It was neat. He could shoot the three. He was doing a lot of stuff. I was kind of impressed by the kid.
He's a star in the making right now. Phil Jackson hit it head on when he said he was a hell of a talent.
Hey,
but the thing was, he was a very risky talent. I think Byron Scott's done a terrible job of developing D'Angelo Russell in L.A. Terrible. And by the way, I was at that Lakers game. I had floor seats to that Lakers game a week ago. And I have to tell you, when Kobe Bryant hit when LeBron threw that ball and hit D'Angelo Russell in the nuts, I don't think I've ever laughed harder at a basketball game in my life.
I was watching that one live. I
was dying. When he hit him, I was like, oh my God, it looked like a scene out of a dodgeball game.
Ben Stiller. How did Ben Stiller get in this Cavs highlight?
Ball than a dodgeball. I mean, I used to play in organized dodgeball leagues in LA, and I witnessed people break tons of limbs in LA off of a dodgeball. I mean, this is how athletic and this is how competitive the leagues were. If someone got hit with a basketball at that, oh my God, at that speed, oh my God, he's lucky he was able to get up. He's lucky he's probably able to have kids someday. He'll probably have kids someday.
Because LeBron
that hit was so hard.
You know what happened to me one time? I was playing a pickup game with my buddy Nate, and I was up at the point position. I was playing point guard at the top of the key, and I just kind of dribble, and it was like this slow, tall dribble, and I saw him kind of cut across behind his defender, and he was wide open underneath the hoop. So on one of the dribbles, I let it bounce up, I grabbed it in midair, and I threw a rifle, a freaking bullet. I don't know. I'm like making the movement here, but we don't have video, so you can't see it. But I bounced it up, and I just caught it in midair and threw the fastball right at him. Perfect pass. I threaded the needle around like 2 or 3 defenders. He had no idea that I could make that play or that he should be prepared for it, and it blasted him in the head. Knocked him down, kind of concussed him. Long story short, it actually helped him go and see a doctor, and it helped him find another medical condition that he was able to begin treatment on because of that. So it was a weird story, but
yeah. Save his life.
Yes, why not? Let's do that. Patting myself on the back. Thank you very much. No, but point is, I blasted somebody once really, really hard. I felt horrible about it, and man, LeBron blasted him right in the nuts. That was an insane
that
play.
Was so painful. I will never forget ever seeing that in my life. I mean, I have the vision in my head right now.
I know.
And I still ask myself, where was LeBron passing the basketball to? Because it didn't look like anyone was in the area.
No, it was not one of his finer moments, unless
Kobe
he was
was
aiming
sitting
for
on the
that.
bench laughing his ass off.
You kind of have to. You want to make sure you're not actually dead. But on The Simpsons, there's a episode where it's, but a football in the groin is a football in the groin. It gets a laugh wherever you're at is the point of the joke. But oh yeah, that was crazy.
But getting back to D'Angelo Russell, I think his development. I think if he was with a better team or a better coach, my thoughts on Byron Scott. We don't even have to get into this.
Oh, and the local team. You're missing. By the way, I do know your thoughts on him, but that's the same thoughts. That the local LA. I was listening this morning.
If you follow like Mike Bresnahan or if you follow Eric Pincus, those are the guys. Those are the 2 writers for the LA Times, the Lakers beat writers, and they are not coy at all about Byron Scott. I mean,
it might have been Matt Money Smith. I heard today. It was either Matt Money Smith or I think it was him. And man, he said, that employee that comes to work and they're going in the microwave and they're constantly cooking fish in your office, and the person that, and he rattled off like these 20 horrible things that employees are doing to just mess up everything. He's like, yeah, and all those people are better employees than Byron Scott. They're all doing a much better job at their job.
Byron Scott does not do well with developing young talent. I don't know why franchises keep giving him the keys to do it.
Well, there's a different regime in charge in Lakerland right now. They're making it up as they go, and they clearly don't have the pedigree that they once did. It's a far cry from Pat Riley and Phil Jackson.
The Lakers are not a good team by any means. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care if Brett Auerbach came back. I don't care if Phil Jackson's coaching a team would not be a good basketball team. But you'd be developing your younger talent. That's the thing.
Okay, but do you think
Bring
maybe
a guy
they?
like Doug Collins or something.
Is it possible they hired Byron Scott so that they could tank for 2 years, maybe get this Ben Simmons character?
Judging by their coaching list tonight, who I saw, the 5 names that were on there that they didn't hire, and they hired Byron Scott. Yeah, it looked like they were changing. Kurt Rambis, George Karl, just guys that didn't fit at all in the situation. I mean, I tend to think next year, people in Lakerland are clueless. I think their one long shot is getting Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. I think they have that possibility because both of those guys, don't forget, Russell Westbrook's an LA guy, born and raised. He's into fashion. That's just his motto. Russell Westbrook's got a year left in OKC after this. If you don't think if Durant leaves, Russell Westbrook is as good as gone. And if Durant goes to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook will be there right behind him.
They're that tight?
That's the Lakers' long shot at competing next year. But if I'm Kevin Durant and I want to win a championship, you're never going to win a championship and playing with along those players. They stink.
Plus, you like Oklahoma City way better than LA anyway, as a city.
Oh, you know me. You know my thoughts on OKC. What a gorgeous city that is. All flat, no trees.
A wonderful aroma. Tons to do. Yeah. Great nightlife. No, I don't really get what they're doing. I went to a Laker game not too long ago, and the highlight was watching Kobe play for about 3 minutes, and the people we were with meeting Jenna Elfman in the concession line. It was like we were there, but we just weren't even paying attention to the game. It was just horrible. They got beat by about 25 points to the Rockets.
It's hard to pay attention to the Lakers. I mean, the Cavaliers are beating the crap out of them so badly at points in that game. You're just like, just end this game already.
But go figure, the Lakers aren't even the worst team in the league right now. It's still the 76ers.
No, and that's another thing. Let's get back to Jahlil Okafor with Philadelphia. Jahlil is one of those guys, playing alongside a bunch of crap does not help a player. Trust me. Jahlil Okafor's had a miserable rookie season. You can tell it's affecting him on the court and off the court.
It has to be. It has to be. It's like Jared Goff from UCLA if he comes to the Cleveland Browns at number 2, to switch gears for a second. You know, Cleveland is the graveyard of quarterbacks. You know,
but the thing is, I honestly believe in this franchise right now. I think they have some of the right pieces in place where they can win. And we'll get into the football, another time. But I do think, again, if Josh Gordon does come back and the Browns do sign one of the Bengals receivers, Mohamed Sanu or Marvin Jones, and you re-sign Travis Benjamin, you suddenly have one of the most dangerous receiving corps in the league, especially with Gary Barnidge as part of that, too.
Okay, hold on. We got Gary Barnidge at tight end. We got Travis Benjamin. Who else are you saying goes in there?
If you have Marvin Jones or Mohamed Sanu, you know they're going to throw the money at one of them. Even both, I heard already. They're already reporting that they could wind up throwing the money at both, depending on Josh Gordon's situation. Those are the Bengals' numbers 2 and 3 receivers. Both very good receivers. But the thing is, if you get Gordon back, who basically this is his last chance, Goff's going to have a lot of weapons in that case.
Duke Johnson in the backfield with Crowell to pound it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would give him a lot of weapons in that case. I'm just saying. You know me. I don't love talking up the Browns because I think they suck. But I think they've I think they really hit the jackpot with Hugh Jackson. I think they know what they're doing now. More than before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Sashi Brown though. He's the one that negotiated that Dwayne Bowe contract. I'm not so sure about that.
Sashi Brown's the one who negotiated. He's not the one who signed the deal.
Well, but how do you negotiate a declining player for 9 years, $9 million guaranteed?
The one who signed it, Ray Farmer's the one who wanted him. Sashi Brown negotiated the deal. That's what he said even. He goes, I made a mistake. He goes, it was Ray's choice, and it was Ray's decision. We went with what Ray wanted. He was the GM. You do what your boss tells you.
Oh, well, okay, if that's the case.
I mean,
he didn't have any other offers in the league. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you make of the Super Bowl?
Getting back to the basketball and stuff
sure.
real quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, Porzingis is looking like a better and better pick just because of, Jahlil Okafor, his development is stunted. Let's put it that way. I think it's stunted to say the least because of who he's playing with. And same with D'Angelo Russell because of who he's being coached by.
So the coach makes a difference because in the NBA, sometimes people say that the coach doesn't make much of a difference.
I think it makes a huge difference.
Steve Kerr, they didn't miss a beat. Steve Kerr goes away.
Don't forget, they're still running the same system.
Okay, that's fair. So you're just kind of on autopilot. Yeah.
Yeah, you're running the same system. So, yeah, you're basically on autopilot. I think Luke Walton's a very good coach, but don't forget all the assistants were still there.
Okay. So
that trust me, you don't want to forget because it makes a difference. I think Steve Kerr is very underrated. Golden State's been better since Steve Kerr came back than they were when Luke Walton was the coach. Just saying.
Well,
I don't believe has Golden State even lost a game since Steve Kerr came back? I'm not so sure they have.
You know what? I could take a look. Let's see. When did he come back? When was that? Do you recall?
No.
Well, they haven't lost since January 16th to the Pacers. So it's been over a month.
I can't remember the last time they've lost. That's the thing.
Yeah, they beat Cleveland, Chicago, Indiana, the Spurs, the Mavericks, the Sixers, the Knicks, the Wizards, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Suns.
Yeah, I don't think they've lost since Kerr came back.
Well, and if so, they lost to Denver on the 13th of January. Other than that, it was another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winning streak. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what we're watching here? I mean, this could be a team that could break the all-time record. Who cares? All-time record is not what we're playing for. I don't. It's probably too far to hope that the Cavs could go on such a run that we could overtake them and get home court advantage. So, it's regular season for us is kind of over. There's not much to prove other than just staying healthy as we get through it. What did you make? I want to just get back to real quick the All-Star game. Did I hear you say that you turned it off halfway through?
I was turned it off part of it. I mean, I was watching some other stuff. I turned back to it. I thought it was stupid.
For you, what made it stupid? Was it just the complete lack of defense?
There's no defense. It just was like a dunk. It was like a skills competition. Like it was. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, the 6 threes in a row that the West hit to start the second half. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, that takes skill, though.
Like the guys aren't even attempting to play defense.
Yeah. Well, it does take skill, though.
I'm saying it does. Yeah, it does take skill, but still.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I do know that.
Trust me, you didn't miss out, Brian.
Yeah, it's hard to believe when the score rings up to almost 200 that I didn't miss anything. That's what I find hard to believe. But, it is the case. Maybe they're all just making too much money. They just want to go have a good time. Nobody wants to be.
You know what? I think everybody's very fearful of being injured, especially after the Paul George ordeal a couple of years ago. Let's remember that.
The Olympics, yeah. That was the qualifying rounds of the Olympics, or that was actually in the Olympics?
It was a friendly. There was the U.S. playing the U.S.
Okay, yeah, like a scrimmage or something. Yeah. What was that? Ray Fosse, the catcher for the Cleveland Indians.
And against Pete. Yeah, when Pete Rose dug into him.
Yeah, and that was an all-star game. It ruined his career. I mean, do we really need to do that? And it's exhibition. And then that's the other thing. Maybe they should make home court advantage dependent upon who wins the all-star game, like they do in baseball for some stupid reason.
The thing is, the baseball all-star game though is shockingly competitive.
Yeah, it is.
It's the only all-star game where I actually enjoy watching because it's actually competitive. I don't even care, honestly.
I didn't watch the Pro Bowl.
The baseball all-star game is awesome.
You know what? You're right.
I don't like that it decides home field advantage.
I hate that.
But you can't tell me that the baseball all-star game is ever 16-15, ever.
How about Sandy Alomar back in, what was that, 96, 97 at Jacobs Field? Man, that was fun. You're right. I like watching the baseball all-star games. The Pro Bowl in football, I didn't even tune in. I didn't care. Oh, Jerry Rice picks his team. Who cares?
You actually stop and think about it for a second. Very few people are willing to admit they actually enjoy the MLB all-star game. But sit there like that it decides home field advantage because, but sit there and think about it for a second. It's probably the best all-star game.
No, it's got to be. I mean, there's neat dunks in the NBA All-Star game. We can give it that, right? There's neat dunks. Some highlight reel plays, some ooh and ah moments. My buddy just DJ'd an event for the Harlem Globetrotters out here in LA. What was it? I think it was yesterday. And it's kind of the same thing I was thinking with an all-star game. It's an exhibition. It's just whatever. But yeah, good point right there. That's a very big difference between all-star games. The Pro Bowl doesn't count. NBA doesn't matter. Baseball has way too much importance put on it.
I think that determining home field advantage for the World Series is a little ridiculous. It should go to the team with the best record.
Every
time.
But
don't forget, in baseball, it just used to be every other year. It didn't matter. It was always every other year in baseball. So let's not forget that.
Wait, what was every other year?
Home field advantage was determined every other year. The NL had it every other year, and the AL had it. It wasn't determined by best record.
Which was stupid as well.
Exactly. So they went from the stupid format to deciding one where, okay, it takes some actual strategy. We want to win this game. Let's go out there and win this. It actually creates strategy. Like that, it does for the home field advantage. But I have to tell you, no matter, even before it, the All-Star game has always been an incredible game. Always. The baseball All-Star game has always been incredible.
Yeah. What did you make of the Super Bowl, by the way? I know we haven't talked in, like I said.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
No, I'm not, because Denver's defense, I knew in the first quarter that Denver was going to win that football game. Their defense was too good.
How was it watching T.J. Ward making big plays over there? Was it a little bittersweet for you as a Browns fan?
It was, but you know what? I like T.J. when he was with the Browns.
Yeah, he had
moments. The Browns should have never let him go. But they did, and they made their mistake. I mean, how was it to see Jordan Norwood with that 75-yard punt return?
Jordan Norwood. Yeah. How many years was he like the number 5 or 6 receiver on the Browns core? How
But
many years?
exactly my point, though. Guys leave the Browns and they do well in other places. It happens everywhere. Javal Sheard was one of the best defensive players in the game this season.
Yeah. Playing for the Patriots nonetheless. Not like they know anything about talent over there. Good thing we let him go. You think it's Peyton's final year? You think he's done?
I think he's done. Why would he come back?
I don't
The guy
know.
got benched in the season he won the Super Bowl.
Well, he was injured and you know.
Okay, Denver won that Super Bowl without a quarterback. I think Denver would have almost won with any quarterback play with that team.
They should have kept Tebow.
Josh McCown would have won a Super Bowl with that team.
Josh McCown, he
Well, Josh McCown's actually not that bad. He really isn't.
No, I'm a Josh McCown fan. The guy's, you know, he gets dinged up and, you know, that silly sliding play in St. Louis, but then again it destroyed the ACL of Reggie Bush a week later.
Yeah, I
and
think
suing
that was
him.
just, well, the city of St. Louis is no longer in the football team. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Brian. I never have to congratulate you on your LA Rams.
Hey, but you know what? Where did the Rams originate? Cleveland in the 30s. So I might
Brian,
be allowed to root for them.
Brian, have you ever seen the video Just Ram It by the mid-'80s LA Rams?
You know what? You brought that up on a previous show.
I've
That is
brought it up
so
a few
funny.
times, but all I'm saying is now that they're back in LA, after we hang up, go and watch it. Do yourself a favor if you want to laugh.
Just ram it. It's craptacular. It's painful.
It's my
It's
favorite line of the
hilarious.
thing is, I'm a mountain man from West VA, and it's like all they're just doing. I mean, it's clearly a song about banging.
Just
And if you
ram
listen
it.
to the lyrics, it's clearly a song about banging.
Just ram it.
So I'm gonna get going now. I gotta sit down for dinner. I still haven't eaten yet. So
Yeah. End on a high note. End on just ram it.
So let's see. If the Cavaliers make a giant trade tomorrow, maybe we'll be talking tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll say that. We'll touch base again if there's going to be, you know, some mega deals that happen in the final hours and with the trade deadline. We'll definitely connect after that.
Definitely.
And on Twitter, you're at Z Baris. That's ZBARIS. You go enjoy
By the way,
dinner.
I want to say another thing. Watch The People versus OJ.
Why?
It's a great show. Other than the scenes with the Kardashians, like with the kids in the fictional scenes, it's a great show.
Oh, the Kardashian scenes actually make it pretty bad?
Oh, that's the worst part of the show.
Oh, I haven't seen any of it.
It's
I
so
mean,
stupid.
it's
a
Cuba.
great show. I highly recommend it. It's a great show.
I'm hearing great things about it. Cuba Gooding is OJ, right? And who else is in this one?
Yes. John Travolta is in it. David Schwimmer. Selma Blair. Who else is in it? I mean, it's got an incredible cast.
Yeah, that's what I remember it being like a good cast, and I'm hearing good stuff about it. So I will check. Do you recommend that people check out The People versus OJ or just ram it? What's more brilliant?
Both.
Both.
Depends
Okay.
if you want 5 minutes of entertainment or you want 3 hours of entertainment.
Yeah, because obviously you're going to watch Just Ram It for 3 hours and only 5 minutes of The People versus OJ. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
All right, well, hey, you enjoy everything. We're thinking about maybe
Thank you,
doing...
Brian.
Hey, one more thing, Zach. We're thinking about maybe doing a live The Unhappy Hour event in Cleveland this summer. Maybe doing a huge group. I don't know. We have almost 1,000 people in our group. We might do it.
Well, I'd be down for it. So
Yeah.
whatever we're gonna do it, we can start talking about it in the group and put something together soon.
Yeah, we're thinking Jacobs Field and whatnot. So hey, I'll keep you posted on that. Enjoy your dinner. We'll talk again soon, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks again, man.
All right, take care. There goes Zak Baris, everybody. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad he reminded me to bring that up. Somewhere around the June-July timeline, we're thinking about doing a live event, The Unhappy Hour, on the road in Cleveland, Ohio. Want to give people enough time to kind of put together travel plans if they feel like coming on out and go. You know, if you know, maybe you're living in Chicago, or maybe you're living in Charlotte, or maybe you're living in Pittsburgh, or who knows? I could go through cities. I'm not going to list off every major American city. You know where they are. But, yeah, I think there's some people just for a chance to come back around the summertime and, you know, take in an Indians game like good old times and just connect with a whole bunch of people that are into sports just like you are. We're trying to put this together. It's still early. It's still mid-February, but the response seems pretty strong. It seems like it's something we're going to try. So Stay posted. Stay connected, and we'll keep you posted is what I meant. So follow us at American_media_ on Twitter. On Facebook, do the search for The New American Media. But also, for people like you, UFC is MMA, who do not comment in our Facebook posts, and you probably should, do a search for the group The Unhappy Hour. Join the Facebook group. Or I forget, are you one of the people that don't use Facebook? Yeah, I mean, just constant breaking news and funny stuff and good comments going back and forth. Getting around, I don't know, 700, 800, 900 people in the group, something like that, maybe 800 or so. But yeah, stay connected with us. We're going to try to put that together, have a good time with it. YouTube.com/The New American Media. Subscribe to it. And if you let the advertisements play, it's like throwing a couple pennies in our wishing well. It's all helpful. It's so helpful because it's just time. It's time to turn this into something full-time, and that takes a little bit of a crew. It takes a gear upgrade. And of course, if you want to do this full-time, it's got to become the job, and that means that job has to provide you money to eat and keep all your 1,000 insurance plans, from health insurance to dental insurance to car insurance to this and that and blah, 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 blah. We're going to have to find a way to raise that revenue. So it's just something you can do by doing nothing. Just let the darn videos play, and it's a couple pennies into our wishing well, and it all helps. So do that and check out the new AmericanMedia.com, the homepage. Once again, Zak Baris, special thanks for joining the program. On Twitter, he's at ZBARIS. So for everybody here at the TNAM Radio Network, thank you very much for waiting it out through this little, not hiatus, but just this weird stretch of time where there's all these conventions and so many things going on. But I would say by about March, by the beginning of March, we're going to really be hitting the ground running, and there's just going to be some amazing content happening. And by the way, around June, July, it's also going to be the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe that could coincide with this as well. Who knows? But it's going to be the epicenter of the world, at least the Republican side of the world, as we pick a president. Whether you're voting Libertarian or Democrat or Republican, what have you, it's a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. So, there's going to be plenty more conversations on Agree to Disagree. That's where we cover politics and current events. But for now, I'm Brian Engelman, signing out, thanking Zak Baris and all of our listeners out there. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll talk again soon. Peace.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
And this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is the New American Media.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. There are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed, because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets, come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. Well, it doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat. All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.